24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the show, everybody. I am your host, Ryan Sparks, aka Touched Artist. Thank you for joining me tonight. As you can see, I'm all alone here in the game room. Mark is still on vacay, so he'll be back for the next show. And Tay is at work right now and will be joining us here in a bit, but I'm going to get started. So this week's episode, Season 1, Episode 11, for me, it was an easy one to title because the struggle is real. As we get into the fall swing of games, like there's always that struggle of like, what games do I want to pick up? What do I need to have? What games do I want to buy? When's this game out? When's that game out? How am I going to make this work? How can we get all the games that we want to get and afford to do it? Never possible, right? So I struggle with it for sure. And I know a number of you do too. I have a huge list of games that I want to play this fall. And I was just trying to narrow it down. So as I was working on getting ready for the show, I was trying to come up with ways to like narrow down my list. And it's a pretty extensive one, starting this week even. So Mark on a previous episode said he was really looking forward to 12 minutes. So that got me into taking a look at that. That one comes out tomorrow. Then we have Madden 22, which I know Tay and I are both looking forward to. So right off the bat, in one weekend, I've got two games that I want to be playing. So that's going to be a struggle for me for sure. And then there's a bunch of other titles along the way. So, and I still haven't played some stuff that's already been out. So if we look ahead, Kenna Bridge of Spirits is coming out next week. No More Heroes 3 on Switch is out next week. Riders Republic comes out the 2nd of September. So we're already, how many games is that? Five games deep in the next couple weeks. Sonic Colors Ultimate comes out on the 7th. And then the 10th of September is a kicker. NBA, 2K22, Life is Strange, and WarioWare all on that same day. So that's obviously not going to happen, right? Like there's no way I'm going to be getting those three at the same time. So, if you're in the same boat as me, share with us on Twitter at Game Day Esports. Let us know. If you're watching live throughout the show, if you have some games you're looking forward to, be sure to add them in. But the struggle is definitely real because even the following week, I've got two more that I want to play. Deathloop is out on PS5, and then Rainbow Six Extraction is scheduled to be out around that same time. And then tomorrow we find out when we're really going to get a Call of Duty. For those of you that weren't watching last week, we talked a little bit about, are we actually going to see a Call of Duty this year? And literally like a day later, they announced that they're going to have an announcement in Warzone tomorrow. So Call of Duty Vanguard is going to have some information that's out tomorrow. So be sure to check that out. But welcome to the podcast, everybody. As always, we're brought to you by Game Day Esports and Frisch's Big Boy. Make sure you give them a follow on social media. We appreciate their support, and we appreciate when you guys support them as well. So thanks for being here tonight, and we're going to hop into the news while we wait for Tay to join us. And unfortunately, the first bit of news is a sad, tragic piece of news for us to talk about here. Voice actor that played Cortana in Halo and Mercy in Overwatch was found murdered in Rio at her home. Christiane Luis was murdered on July 22nd. So we wanted to share with you that they have a suspect in custody, and hopefully that person is brought to justice there. But I know a lot of Overwatch fans are really upset about the situation, and we didn't want to go without paying tribute to Mercy, who is one of my favorite characters in Overwatch as well. I know we have a lot of Mercy mains in the Game Day community, so just hope for the quick justice in that case, and thoughts go out to all fans and family as they mourn the passing of Christiane. We talked last week on the episode about busts, games that were considered to be big busts in the last year. We didn't talk much about Cyberpunk, even though that was kind of what brought up the main big bust that we're talking about. But good news is there's a patch coming. Interestingly enough, it's possible that this patch could do a lot of things. It's coming to PC and consoles, and Stadia, based on the release list notes here. So this is patch 1.3, and it has a bunch of DLC pieces. So I'm gonna go through them here, just so you guys can get a piece of this. It says improvements. And it's a pretty lengthy list. So improve the minimap zoom level when driving, which everybody complained about. Automatic love. Screen with pictures of Sky and Angel will be displayed substantially longer, making it easier to choose between the two. Added a button which allows to relocate the distribution of perk points on a character skill tree. That one was huge because people were saying that they got, put a certain point on and didn't want to. I think reallocation in any of those games is a big deal. Added database links to the journal entries. Added accessibility option for center of screen dot overlay. Added a filter for quest items in the backpack. Quest item tags for miscellaneous job items will now be removed after finishing the associated quest. So a lot of people were complaining about that, was like they were still seeing those tags after they were done with it. And it also allows you to sell or drop those items. Players will now properly be able to craft and quick hack even if they once crafted it and then got rid of it. So if you've already crafted it once and then you unloaded it already, you can still quick hack and craft quickly. And there's a handful more, but then a number of changes for balancing. I mean, like, how many points? Like 1, 2, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. There's about 25 balancing points in this one. So definitely check that out. We'll have the list in the show notes so you guys can take a peek there. But there's a lot, and then a lot of gameplay fixes. Fixed an issue where crafting specs from clothing stores were available only during the first visit to a vendor. Fixed an issue where it occurred after visiting the Nomad camp. There's a whole bunch of stuff that they're looking to fix. I, for one, am really excited to see how the fixes work. I know I have a coworker that has played a little bit of this game as well. on PlayStation and has enjoyed it so far and hasn't seen a ton of issues. The user interface got a complete overhaul, like a 30 point overhaul. Environment and levels, there's 6 points there, 3 different things under quests. So we'll put this link in the show notes. It's over at cyberpunk.net, patch 1.3 list of changes. But we'll have that in the show notes for you so you can check that out as well. One thing that Tay probably will want to talk about, but I want to cover a little bit of it now, is Marvel's Avengers, because this game gets played a lot in our house. My 4-year-old loves it. But they're adding the War for Wakanda. It's a free DLC for anyone that has the game. And you don't have to have any experience with the game elsewhere, because Black Panther starts at level 1 in this expansion. So you're literally starting in this expansion from ground zero, and that's cool, because that way, if you haven't played it yet and you're a big fan of the Black Panther, you can hop in. So this article comes from Forbes. Paul Tassi is a senior contributor at Forbes. The title of the article is Marvel Avengers War for Wakanda Review. Yes, come back for it. And in the article, he just states essentially like, hey, if you've been playing this game and you went away from it and you still have it, come back and play. It says Wakanda is gorgeous. Crystal Dynamics has done a stellar job here, crafting a new location way, way more impressive than the rather generic snow, forest, and desert landscapes they've done so far. So a lot of people with Marvel Avengers said that they didn't enjoy the overall experience and the look of the levels in the game, in the main quest line, and they're kind of, I'd say that's pretty spot on. That's kind of where I struggled with it, was that I didn't like how basic it looked, but at the same time, you have an opportunity to show some improvement along the way. Like they've done a good job with some of the other stuff. And it's important to kind of add to the story. And if you're playing that game and you're not enjoying like what you're looking at, that can be a struggle for sure. But like I said, it gets a lot of play in our house. My 4-year-old loves the game. He loves playing as the Hulk. So we'll see if maybe we can get some multiplayer going there with the Hulk and the Black Panther, since Black Panther is my favorite character, other than Cap. But essentially, they're saying that the overall performance of Christopher Judge as T'Challa in the expansion is really, really good as well, which is a good thing to hear. There's a couple screenshots in the article. Again, it'll be in the show notes for you to check out. I think this game is going to be on point, the expansion, because I'd have to say that when you look at games as a service as a whole, when you've got a games as a service game like this one and you feel like they've missed the boat somewhere along the line, it's a good thing for Crystal Dynamics to get out there ahead of it now and say, hey, here it is. We're going to put this big expansion out and try to draw some more people in. My guess would be that it'll be on sale. The game itself will be on sale leading up to the weekend. I would think you're going to see some price drops on that to try to get people in. And there are some cool little add-ons for the multiplayer stuff. So definitely worth checking out. If you have it and you haven't been playing it, be sure to give it a run with this new expansion. Next on the news, there's a bunch of stuff coming to Game Pass. So a lot of new games coming to Game Pass. One way that I'm able to hit a lot of the games that I want to play is because of the value of Game Pass. So a lot of times they'll have games on there that, you know, you want to try out or want to play, but you don't want to spend $60 on. And that's a huge point for me, because like I said, the struggle is real, right? To try to get all those games in that I want to play during the year. but they've added a whole bunch of stuff coming to Game Pass. Humankind is on PC Game Pass. Need for Speed Heat, which I've played on my stream before. That game's a lot of fun. Star Wars Battlefront 2 was added. Jedi Fallen Order was also added. Now, those are playable in the cloud. So Need for Speed Heat, Battlefront 2, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order are all playable from the cloud. So you can play those on Xbox Game Pass on your phone if you so are so inclined. What else? 12 minutes. So that's one that I'll at least get to try because of it being available on Game Pass. And that's going to be available in the cloud, console, and PC. So that takes care of one of the games that was on my list from earlier that I was wanting to play. And then Psychonauts 2, which if you haven't played the first one, it is about 10 years old, but it is available on Game Pass as well. So you could play Psychonauts 1 leading into the release of Psychonauts 2 on the 25th if you're interested in doing that. Boyfriend Dungeon is out there. I saw a couple people tweeting about that today, saying that it was a game that they wouldn't have originally tried, but because it's on Game Pass, it was worth a shot for them. But there's also, if you have a cell phone and you've played on Game Pass on the cloud, there are a bunch of games that have touch controls, where you don't need a controller. You can play via touch on your screen and do different things. Hades was added to that, which, as you know, if you were on the show or watching the show last week, that was my game of the year for last year. Farming Simulator 19 is there. Need for Speed Heat is going to have touch controls in the cloud. But there's also a couple things that are leaving the cloud, or leaving Game Pass in general on the 31st. So if any of these catch your attention, get as much playtime in as you can. Blair Witch is leaving. NBA 2K21 is leaving, which we expected with 2K22 coming out. Double Kick, and then Stranger Things 3. So those four are bouncing on the 31st. So this list will be available in the show notes as well. Thanks to our friends at Game Informer. Liana Rupert put this list together. It's a good list to kind of keep an eye on, to know what's coming and what's going on Game Pass. And Xbox does a good job at putting that information out there for people as well. They're very, very adamant about the Game Pass is the best value in gaming, and I think they're spot on with it. There's quite a few things that are on there that are a lot of fun. So standard service for Game Pass is only $10. So even if you don't have an Xbox, you can play Game Pass games on your phone. So that's something, or tablet. So something worth checking out. As we still wait for Tay, I'll hop into what I'm playing right now. As we approach the news of Call of Duty tomorrow, I decided that I was going to jump into the campaign mode of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which I surprisingly hadn't played yet. Usually at launch, I hit the Call of Duty games pretty hard, just for the single player aspect. But this time I hadn't even touched the single player yet. So that was something that I had to kind of go back and take a look at. If you haven't played the single player on that game and you own it and you've just been sticking to the multiplayer, take some time to play it. They said it's about 6 hours if you play straight through. So if that's the case, I'm about 3 hours, maybe 2.5, 3 hours in after my play last night. But I like the story so far. So something to go back and play if you're looking for something to go back in your backlog and play until you get some of the stuff that's coming out here in the future. I played the FIFA 22 beta. The improvements to the manager mode have been pretty cool. They've done a few little things. They didn't do much to change like the post-game pre-match and post-match interview sections when you're a manager. But overall, the game's pretty solid. So you can't really complain there. There's a lot of difference in the physics of the players. Like the physicality of the game has changed a little bit, and the ball physics seem to be a little bit different. I haven't had any craziness where the ball slams off the post and goes flying too far yet. I'm sure at some point though I'll catch that as I play more. But so far so good. I mean, for a beta, I mean, I expected there to be a few more like struggles along the way, but so far I think EA's done a pretty solid job. I've watched a couple different interviews and stuff pre-release of the beta where they've talked about, all of the people that are working on the game are football/soccer fans. And they take pride in making sure that the game is solid. And, I can't say that they didn't do a good job on this so far. I mean, there's obviously going to be things along the way with balancing and things for online play. But so far, I would say the game looks pretty good. And I can't really complain much about the overall gameplay in it at all. I mean, I think it's been pretty solid. What else have I played? I played a little bit of Madden 22. Caught my oldest playing it yesterday. He said on Xbox One, it doesn't look much different than last year's. Doesn't play much different. So that'll be a disappointment for anybody who didn't like last year's game. And that was one of the games that was on our bust list last week. So disappointing for him there, but I felt like overall gameplay on the Series S was okay. I played one game. I'm looking forward to playing that story mode that we talked about before, the face of the franchise, because you can be a linebacker this time. So being a defensive player is a little bit different in that mode. So that should be pretty exciting. So we'll see how that one plays out. I played a little bit more Pokemon Snap this week. If you guys haven't checked that out, be sure to at least take a second to look at the video on that. And then there were some releases today. Nintendo put some videos out for the new Pokemon games that'll be coming out, so you can kind of see what those look like. I don't know if I'll jump in on those. I'm not a huge Pokemon fan. I do play them occasionally, but it's something that I don't get a ton of playtime in on those games because I just don't dig them as much as the average Pokemon fan. I would say I'm a below average Pokemon guy. But trying to squeeze in as much time as I can playing those. And then I played some Mario Maker 2 again this week for my streams on my channel. I actually pre-recorded that since I was on the soccer field on Monday and put that out on my YouTube and on Facebook for anybody who wants to check that out. But I think I set 2 world records on levels this week. There's a couple really cool ones. I downloaded like 3 or 4 different levels that I'm going to go back and try to tackle again. And then I'm also trying to decide what my next retro game of choice is going to be that I want to play through and kind of record me playing that so we can do some more retro rewind stuff in the future, which will be on my own channel instead of here at Game Day. But a lot of fun with the retro stuff. As you all know from knowing me at this point, from being on the show, I love that old school feel. I love those 2D side scrollers. So getting back into Mario Maker 2 was fun. One thing I wanted to talk about, and hopefully Tate joins us here soon. I know the struggle for him is real to be here tonight because of work. Is that theme kind of keeps popping up. But I saw a meme today, and I actually posted it on Twitter earlier today. And so it was no console is better than the other. You just prefer the one that you grew up with. I thought it was interesting because I don't know that's true to me. I had the advantage of having most of the consoles growing up at one point or another. And I gravitated more towards Nintendo, even though Sonic is one of my favorite franchises of all time. There were more games on Nintendo that I liked. So I'd be interested in hearing you guys that are watching the show, either in the comments or out on Twitter, in the Facebook space, like wherever you guys are at. Shoot me a message. I'd like to talk more about that on a future episode when the guys are here. Excuse me. Just to get a feel for what people think on that. I think it's an interesting concept that you just prefer the one you grew up with. I know like Tay has pretty strong feelings about his PlayStation. He loves him some PS4. But I don't know that I have a preference either way. I do play a ton of Nintendo games. I play a lot on the Switch. But I think that's a convenience thing because I can take it with me. So if I just need to grab it and go, grab it off the dock, put it in this case and bounce, I can do that. I think it's a lot of a convenience factor for me on how much Switch I play. Because my gaming times bounce around. But yeah, I'd be interested to hear you guys' takes on that in the chat, or hit us up on Twitter or Facebook. Follow us on Twitter as well, at Game Day Esports. That way you get all the podcast news. So if you're looking for anything that's going on connection interruption wise, it'll be over on the Game Day Twitter now, not on the separate connection interruption Twitter. So if you're looking for future show information, what we're going to talk about, what different things we've got going on, news and events, be sure to follow us on Game Day and shoot us a message. Let us know what console you grew up with. If you think that's the better of the consoles, or if now that you've gamed for a while, if you would bounce another direction or not. That's one of those things it's really, really interesting to hear people's takes, because it can go either way when it comes to how you feel about what you game and what you like. There are a couple new characters coming to Street Fighter, so I was going to jump into some Street Fighter 5 on PC over the next week or so, and they just announced that they're putting 2 new characters out that are available now, Oro and Akira. This falls right after EVO just wrapped up, so the big fighting game tournament, EVO, just finished on the 15th. So a lot of gaming news coming with between Guilty Gear and Street Fighter, and the Guilty Gear Strive looks like it's going to be super cool. The new Jacko DLC characters, they're hitting their second DLC character. But if you're a fighting game fan, I know Kentertaining that watches the show, he plays a lot of fighters. I'd be interested to hear how the new fighters are going to run on this game, and how if they think they'll be competitive or not. That's always interesting when a new fighter comes out, because you see a lot of the players switch over to him for a little bit just to get a feel and see how it goes, and kind of go from there. But I'm not sure that it'll be a huge piece of the competitive scene, but it's cool to see them continue to support that game. I'm not really sure. I'm going to look right now, but I'm not really sure when that came out at this point. I think it's been quite a while for the release date on that game. I cannot remember off the top of my head, but I think it's almost 5 years old. It is over 5 years old. So Street Fighter V's release date was February 16th of 2016. And they're still releasing characters for it. So that's a pretty cool thing to see a game that came out that long ago. Still getting support and getting new characters. It's also on sale, I believe, right now on Steam. If you're interested in picking that up, I'm gonna click and see what the sale price is on it. Yeah, Street Fighter 5's on sale on Steam right now. If you're a PC gamer, for $7.99. So $7.99, and you get Street Fighter 5 on PC right now. So that's a great deal. And the Championship Edition and Season 5 Premium Pass Bundle is on sale for $35. So if you're a big Street Fighter fan, or maybe you just want to dip your toes in, when it's on sale for $8, like, cheap gamer here, like this guy, we've talked about it on shows before. Like, if you can get a game under $10 and you're going to play for a while, and that game is solid. Like, it's a solid fighter. So you can get in for the next 16 hours, it says. So it's on sale through tomorrow, essentially, for $8. So that's something to think about. Street Fighter 5 for $8. I don't know that you can get a better deal than that on that game. Let's take a look and see if it's on sale on the PlayStation Store as well. So I would guess it might be, given that it's on sale on Steam, but sometimes you get a great sale on Steam that you just don't get anywhere else. And with Street Fighter being console exclusive to PlayStation, it's possible it's not. It's the Championship Edition is on sale for $20 on PlayStation right now. And the regular edition is on sale for $8 as well. So you can jump in on PlayStation or on PC right now for Street Fighter 5 for $8. So I don't know that it gets any better than that, like as far as pricing goes. I don't know that I've seen it that low. But definitely worth checking out if you're a fighting game fan or want to just get in there. So Tay has sent me a message. He is on his way, so hopefully he's here soon. But want to thank everybody again. Thank you to Frisch's Big Boy for supporting the show. We really do appreciate everybody that supports us and helps bring the show to you guys. It's a fun show to do. And Tay says that Ken is the greatest. There we go. Since he's not on live right now, but he can send a message, so we'll get him included here in the show. Ken is the greatest. I think we're going to have to play, Tay. I think we're going to have to do a night where we play Street Fighter against each other and stream that out, because I would say that Ken is not my favorite. Blanca is by far my favorite, and then E Honda. I roll with the big dogs. But yeah, that's a great get for $8. So, as Tay's on his way, I want to talk about some cross-platforming games, because we've talked about this before, because Tay has PlayStation, Mark plays predominantly on PC, and then I play between Switch and Xbox, kind of go back and forth. And we were talking about the cross-play and cross-platform play and what games we could play together. Obviously, Fortnite is an easy choice, right? But the Halo Master Chief Collection goes between PC and Xbox, so that would be a cool one to hop in. Dead by Daylight is also cross-platform. So that's playable on Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and PC. No Man's Sky is playable on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. So that's another one that we may be able to hop in and play together. Rocket League is obviously cross-platform. Minecraft at this point. My son and his friends play a lot of Ark Survival Evolved. That's a good cross-platform title if you're looking to hop in with friends. One of the things that we talk a lot about is, where do we fall in the console wars? And that's kind of what we were talking about earlier with, like, which console was better, like the one you were brought up with or the one you had growing up, or just whichever one you like the best. And the console wars kind of don't exist at this point. I mean, you're still going to have some fans that'll say they do, but ultimately, with the ability to do so much crossplay, like, PC Master Race people will be all about PC Master Race, but like Sea of Thieves is available on PC and on Xbox, and you can play that either way. Warzone is available to cross-platform plays. Call of Duty Warzone. Paladins is out there. Rogue Company, Dauntless, which is a game that I really want to get into. I've got to get into some Dauntless, and maybe I'll get Tay to hop in and do some Dauntless at some point. What is up?
Man.
Bro, it's been an interesting night. I'm I don't know if you were at the beginning of the show as you're trying to listen when you're wrapping up at work, but the struggle is real today, my brother.
Hey, yes, the struggle is extremely real when parents buy V-Bucks before they go school shopping. They come in last minute, getting shoes and clothes and complaining and don't know their kids' shoe size and clothes
Whew.
size. The
Yeah.
struggle is real.
Well, I'm fighting the sinus thing right now again. Like it came out of nowhere today. Like I went outside and they were cutting the grass at work.
No.
And like as soon as I walked out, I was like, oh no. So I was just talking about that cross-platform stuff because you know how we were talking about we've got to play something, and you
Yes.
predominantly are on PlayStation. But there's a lot of really good cross-platform stuff. Chivalry 2, Phantasy Star Online, Genshin Impact, which is also available on your phone. Speaking of playing on your phone, have you done anything with that new fun Xbox toy?
Yeah, so I got on, and I obviously couldn't log into my old Xbox account, so I had to figure that out. Thanks, Xbox. But definitely a good buy. So if you're gonna purchase a backbone, let's get it here. If you're gonna purchase this, definitely a good buy. The backbone,
Non-sponsored.
yeah, non-sponsored.
Non-sponsored.
Hey, but FYI, it also works for PlayStation 2. So that's
Cool. So it'll work with the remote play.
Yes, it works with the
Awesome.
remote play.
Yeah, I was talking a lot about this stuff on Game Pass because they've added so many different things earlier. But I think that's going to be a good pickup. That backbone will be a good pickup for people that are looking to play on their phones, or just if you don't have a Switch and you want to take something with you to play, that's going to be a good pickup.
Yeah, like definitely. I know they have a couple of controllers out that turns your phone into a game system, but so far the backbone has been it for me. Definitely a good purchase. Thanks to HB for looking out for me. Non-sponsored, not sponsored. Yeah. So yeah, I was catching the beginning of the show while we was getting people out of the store. I was like, look, people, I have to be on my show. You could tune in. I was advertising as we was pushing them out the door. So,
yeah, like go on my show, watch my show. Yeah, we're but I've gone through a lot of the stuff. What I obviously couldn't go through is what are you playing?
I've been playing the show 21, getting my home run hits up. So one thing that I definitely have to do with baseball is master my pitching. Like I can play the field, I can swing to the fences, but my pitching game is a little bit off. So
We just need to play that game together. I can pitch, I can't hit.
let me know when.
Like I can't hit. Like I don't know if it's a depth perception thing or what it is, but like I struggle to play that game. Like I cannot hit.
Hey, what with the hitting? It is kind of tricky, especially now. You play on Xbox or you got on
I mean, I
Xbox?
could play it on whatever, I guess, but I'm playing on Xbox, yeah.
Yeah, with the analog, it's kind of tricky this year. But if you go into the settings, you can use the traditional settings, and it'll make it easier for you to hit. So
Yeah, I love like I'm good with pitching. I just cannot hit in that game at all. I've actually given up trying to even play that much because of it. Like
well,
I'll just get a couple base hits here and there, but everybody's like, "Man, I'm hitting dingers," and I'm like, "Dude, I haven't hit a home run, and I don't know how long."
try the home run derby. Just
Oh yeah, so then when I can't hit a home run in that, then we know I'm just broken,
nah,
right?
you'll pick it up. The pitches are a little bit slower, but you'll definitely pick it up a home run derby. I've been playing the Ghosts.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
Okay, so they've got that collector's edition or the definitive edition, whatever it is, that's coming out like this week. Are you trying to just beat the regular edition to then go play that, or are you just trying to beat it to beat it?
I was just trying to beat it to beat it.
Okay.
I don't think I'm gonna get the new one. Not yet. Of course, the budget.
Yeah. Well, you know me. That's what I was talking about earlier. Like, dude, my list just keeps going. Like, if you take the sports games into consideration, like, in all seriousness, that's $300 right off the bat.
Yeah.
Because you got like Madden's $100.
Yeah, FIFA.
And then FIFA's $100, and then NBA is as well.
Yeah, because that NBA 2K was September.
Yeah, that one's September 10th.
Yeah.
Well, and you were probably busy when we were on. I was talking about September 10th. There are 3 games on my must-play list, and they come out the same day.
Okay, so you got 2K. What else?
Yeah, Life is Strange, True Colors, and then WarioWare on the Switch.
Yes, I see that.
But they're all that day. And then two other games that were on my must-play list for the fall or the following week. It's like, what am I supposed to do, bro? Like, you can't.
Hey,
I don't make $1 million.
True.
As much as everybody would love to think that we're getting banked for we're rolling in the money for the show. Like, not a thing. All right. So, like, Deathloop on PlayStation comes out that next day, and then Rainbow Six Extraction is out that week.
Hey, you know what?
Less than 7 days.
I think I've been eating pretty healthy. I might have to go donate some plasma.
Something. I don't know what the answer is. I just know that I don't have enough money right now for the stuff that I want this fall. Like,
out of all the games, I think I will have to go with Madden first, just to get that out the way, and then like play catch up with the rest of them.
I guess, but I mean that's one of those things where it's like, you said you had on your list that when we had on earlier that you're playing Rainbow Six Siege too, right?
Yes.
So like that's what brought me to that Extraction was like, all right, well I liked Siege, but Vegas and Vegas 2 were my 2 favorite Rainbow Six games.
Hey, that hands down, that is the top 2 Rainbow Six period.
Yeah, like I love Vegas 2, and I love like that lone wolf mode where you could go hunt down like the terrorist mode.
Yes.
If they brought that mode to the new game, to the Rainbow Six Extraction, there'd be zero question I'm buying that game.
The only thing that keeps me kind of iffy with the Extraction is the aliens. Like, can we make it a little bit more realistic? But of course, it's Rainbow Six, so.
Yeah, I mean it'll be interesting to see what they do with that game, because if it's gonna have to have some multiplayer element, right? Like that's the big get for Rainbow Six right now, is that multiplayer piece. So when you play Siege, you're obviously playing multiplayer because that's the only real option. But are you playing with people you know, or are you playing with like just random?
Random.
Okay.
Random, because it's like the people I know, they way up here, and it's like when I play with them, I'm like the little brother that is tagging along.
They're like, get good, bro.
Right.
Right.
So now I just play with random people until I get my game up.
Yeah, I get that. Like I don't play it a lot, but I did for a little while. Like I'd go through spurts, and I'm not that great at it. And then they would add new operators, and I'm like, wait, what did that person just do to me? Like, there's just too many.
And it's the way they add stuff on. I don't know if people get advanced maps or advanced tips or whatever, but it's like as soon as they drop something, everybody's already on it. So I'm like, how do they do that?
I think that people just like play that game a lot. Like if you're into that game, like and you're super into that game, you're gonna play it a ton.
Yeah, that most definitely. I see where we had it's the online playing even or disadvantage. To me, I feel it's a disadvantage. It's like if I get on, you should look at my medals and everything, my achievements, and match me up to people similar. But no, I get thrown to the wolves. And
I think there are some games that have some good matchmaking with that stuff, but overall, I would say you're probably right. Like, I mean, FIFA has a level system where, based on how many wins you have, like you're in a different tier.
Yeah.
Madden has that too, don't they? In online play, like the seasons mode or whatever.
Yeah, to a certain extent. Now it depends on what time you get on. to play. Like if everybody's on, then they keep it in the tiers. But if you just jump on in the middle of the night, they're gonna match you with whoever.
With whoever's on playing.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, they want you to play online, so hopefully they don't burn you out though. Like that would frustrate me if I got in at like let's say 10 o'clock and they're like, oh, there's not that many people playing tonight, and they put me up against somebody that just is going to roll me. That's not going to be any fun.
Well, the last time I played online, and man, the guy actually like I never really got the. I think I got 2 plays off because he kept onside kicking and intercepting. I was like, and dude was like, I think he was maybe in the top 40% in the world. I'm like, hey, come on, I ain't too bad, but come on,
Yeah. I mean, that's a struggle though for all companies, like to try to figure out a way to balance their games, right? Like if you go into Call of Duty, you have your rank and people have like how many times they've prestiged or whatever. But you can prestige just by playing a lot, or you can prestige because you're really good.
Yeah, I gave up on Call of Duty. I'm sorry.
I get it. No, like I just jumped in, like I was saying earlier, like I just jumped into the story mode of the last one. And I'm kind of looking forward to see what the announcement is tomorrow with the new one, because they did finally announce right after we logged off last week from the show, like the next day, they put out an announcement that they're going to have an announcement.
Yeah, they were sitting there waiting for us to get off.
That's it. They were like, "Yep,
they're done. So, let's get it in." Like, what's the other one? Battlefield.
Yeah.
Like, I've gotten better in that. And what's the one where they got it's a siege, not siege, but they're in front of the White House and in front of the game.
Oh, the Division 2.
Yeah, Division 2. I'm pretty good in those 2, but when it comes to Call of Duty, nah, I tap out.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, Battlefield is out in October, so it's 3 weeks after FIFA comes out. I've got Battlefield. That's one of the must-haves, right? So,
yep.
And in between there's Back 4 Blood, Metroid Dread, and Far Cry 6.
I gotta get I gotta get Metroid, and I gotta get Far Cry.
Metroid, I'm waiting on. Like I as much as I want to play it on day one, that one's one I'm gonna wait on because I'm gonna let everybody else kind of play it and like see how they feel about it.
Nah, man, you gotta jump in unless they have a beta or something.
Yeah, I didn't really dig the last Metroid I played that I liked was on Super Nintendo. Like I was really into Super Metroid, and then from there I kind of lost my way a little bit. But this one could be good. I'm not sure I'm going to hold out. I think I'm going to hold out and not get that one right away. But I mean that could change too. Something else could pop up, and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna get that. But that's one that like I think I can hold out on.
Yeah, because when I was writing, I heard you talking about the Street Fighter. Yeah, like Street Fighter has always been one of my favorite games outside of Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat, and Soul Calibur.
You already have it? You have Street Fighter on PlayStation 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, but the thing with me with Street Fighter, it's like after you beat it so many times, you get bored. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, but that game came out 5 years ago, and they just put out 2 new characters.
Yeah.
That's mind-blowing to me. Like you said Soul Calibur when you're talking. I loved me some Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur 4 that had Yoda on Xbox and had Darth Vader on PlayStation.
Yes, sir.
They sucked me in because I bought it on both. And then they released the DLC character like a year later. But like, I wanted to play as Darth Vader and I wanted to play as Yoda, so I wound up buying that game on both consoles.
No, see, I would have went once. But I'll tell you this. Mortal Kombat did get me. So when they did the Mortal Kombat 11, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they came out with the one where all the special characters were like Freddy, Jason, Rambo.
Oh, yeah, all the add-ons.
Yeah. So I went back and bought that one. But I didn't know when I went back and bought it, but it also included the original 11.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like I paid twice for the same game. I was like,
it happens.
Yeah, they got me.
Yeah.
Thanks, GameStop.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like they know. Yeah, but I mean, I think ultimately, like, as fighting games are kind of getting back, and we talked about balancing in online play. Fighters are one that's really hard to find a balance.
Yeah,
Like,
they need to bring a boxing back. Can we please get boxing?
hold on, because I
Hey,
saw one the other day.
can we
I
Ring
can't
King?
remember.
Can we bring Ring King
No,
back?
what's the? Hold on, I just saw an ad for one the other day, and I thought of you. Um, it's based on the Creed movies, but it's another one coming out. Like, it almost looks like a mix between like Fight Night and Ready to Rumble.
I love Ready to Rumble. Are they going to ever release that movie?
I have no idea. No idea. So this is called Big Rumble Boxing Champions, Creed Champions on Xbox One. It's coming out September 3rd. So if you're a big boxing fan, like it's like it looks like an arcade boxer. Like there's like you have a a meter over top of your boxer, like so you know when your health's out.
Ah, yeah, that Ready to
So
Rumble look.
yeah, so I mean, and it looks semi cartoony, like Ready to Rumble, and there's special fight, like special punches and stuff. Like there's an uppercut that has like stars on it or whatever when it hits. I saw it on Xbox the other day. It was like a preview, like you can pre-order this now, and I was like, oh boy.
Yeah,
Um,
I've been feeling for a boxing game because even Mayweather was teasing of making his own boxing game.
mm-hmm.
Then I was like, he probably won't be able to get the rights to all the other fighters. So I was like, can we bring back Fight Night? Something like that. Like, please.
Yeah, Fight Night was solid. Like I loved that series, but I think with UFC's got the market on most of those like realistic fighters. So we're gonna have to see
Yeah,
an arcadey one.
they suckered me into getting all the UFCs and the
Yeah,
wrestling.
yeah. So I'm trying to find out. I don't know if it's on every console. It looks like it's going to be on at least Xbox and PlayStation. So it just says consoles and PC on September 3rd. But I mean, that would be a good one for you to check out for sure because it's got like Clubber Lang,
Yeah.
like, and it looks like Mr. T, like straight up. So I mean, that'll be an interesting one for you to check out for sure.
A knockoff Ready to Rumble.
It looks like it. It looks like it. There's some over the top fighting on it, and having that meter over top of their heads like makes it look like a regular fighting game, like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or whatever. So it could be interesting. It's not going to be like a real like fight night, but could be a fun one.
Yeah, I played the VR boxing for PlayStation.
The Creed or just
that.
yeah.
It's cool if you got a lot of space, but if you don't, yeah, that not a good buy. Sorry, Creed.
Yeah, that's the problem I have with VR in general. Is like it's a spatial thing. Like you have to have a good amount of space to make it happen. All right, so before we hop off for the night, I'm going to ask the question that I asked earlier. Since you're here to argue the yes or no, no one console is better than the other. You just prefer the one you grew up with. Is that true or false?
I would have to go with false.
Okay.
Because I grew up on Nintendo. I'm a true Nintendo head from Game Boy on up.
Yeah.
I had a power pad, the gun for Duck Hunt, everything. and if I could get it all back today, I surely would. But nah, I think I switched over to PlayStation when the one came out because of I guess my age at the time, and they had more games catered towards our generation at the time. So
okay, so you're saying that it doesn't matter which one you grew up with. You can bail and go to a different one and say that console's better than.
Yeah, it depends on where you at in life. Cause like
Yeah.
I was a true Nintendo head. I played Ninja Turtles, Double Dragon, Contra, all that. And then it's like, okay, I want to see what's the next game going to look like. Because I even bailed on PlayStation for a couple months when I got my Dreamcast. So it's like,
yeah,
because
of the NBA 2K.
Yeah, because they had the new graphics and everything, and a dope game. And then it's like PlayStation came and kind of like dominated. So, yeah.
See, I bounced back and forth. I'm really weird in that way. Like, I had Nintendo. I had a Sega Genesis. I love the Genesis. Sonic is one of my favorite series. Like, I love that on the Dreamcast. Like, there's no question that I played Dreamcast probably more than any other console. Up till probably the 360, I would guess. But if I go back, like, even now, like, I bounce back and forth. So I would say generationally, it was weird. I had a Nintendo. And then I got a Genesis instead of the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I did that too.
Then I had a PS1.
Yep.
And then I had a Dreamcast. Somewhere in there, I had an N64, like in that same general time frame, but only for Zelda.
I skipped N64. I skipped GameCube.
I played Mario 64, and Zelda Ocarina of Time were the only two games I had on it.
Yeah.
And then I got a GameCube. Because I got NHL Hits on that.
I skipped that one.
I had a GameCube. I mean, I've had all of them at some point, but I'm just trying to think of, like, in succession, like how I bounced back and forth. And I went 360 pretty hard, but then PS4, I played more than, like, the original Xbox One. But now, like, with PS5 and Series S, I'm back on the Xbox side again.
I can see that because Xbox did give more variety than PlayStation for a nice little minute.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see that.
Well, I asked the chat, and anybody that's watching either the replay or whatever, hit us up on social media. Let us know which console you feel like was the best growing up, which one you enjoyed the most, where you're at now, what are you playing now, so we can talk about it on future episodes. Again, we're looking at cutting shows down to about an hour, so we are up against the wall here towards the end of the show. But thanks for joining us tonight. I'm sorry you had to listen to my stuffy, sinus-filled nastiness for an entire hour this evening.
It's okay. It's okay, man.
But hopefully I can knock this out over the next week, and we'll be good to go next week. Mark will be back with us next week. As we prepare for the show that will be at 8:00.
Yep.
On the 25th, right? And we'll have some show ideas out on social media. Those of you that watch on a regular basis, if you have an idea of what you want us to talk about or things you want us to cover, feel free to send it our way. You can hit me at Touched Artist. Tay is available at DJ Tay Boogie.
See, I got it right this time. Touched Artist.
Ooh, boom. There you go. You can hit us up on social media. Send a message at Game Day Esports as well. Let them know that you enjoy the show. It helps us out. We thank our friends at Frisch's and at Game Day for their support each and every week. Yeah. And we will see you all on the flip side.
Yep. Speaking of Frisch's, don't forget the fried pickles, onion rings, sliders, and big boys.
There you go. He's got it all down. He knows. And that's one meal, yeah.
Yeah, that's one meal.
That's one meal.
That's one meal. Sorry.
That's just one meal. All right, everybody. We will see you next week. Thanks for joining us again here on the Connection Interruption podcast, and we will see you next time.
Bye.